If you're a first-time homebuyer in the East Bay, or if you're thinking of moving to the East Bay, this video could save you thousands of dollars. I'm serious. Because I'm about to tell you about some of the biggest mistakes we see first-time homebuyers make in the Bay Area. And it's not what you think. It's not overpaying on the purchase price. It's not skipping your inspections. It's not even waiving your contingencies. It's a hidden cost of buying a home in the Bay Area that almost nobody is talking about. And when it hits you, it can hit hard. Just imagine, you close on your new home, you move in, you set up auto pay on your mortgage. Your lender's collecting your property taxes through your escrow account every single month. You're doing everything right. And then 4 months later, an envelope shows up from the tax collector. You open it, and inside is a bill, a separate bill, completely outside of your mortgage, for $8,000, and it's due in 60 days. You don't remember anybody mentioning this during escrow, and your lender didn't budget for it. Your escrow account does not cover it. And if you don't pay for it, the county starts adding a 10% penalty. This is the California Supplemental Property Tax Bill, and it is hands down the biggest hidden cost of buying a home in the Bay Area. And it's the single most common first-time homebuyer mistake that I see, not knowing this bill exists until it shows up in your mailbox. If you're buying a home anywhere in the East Bay, Danville, Walnut Creek, Lafayette, Oakland, Hayward, especially areas with older homes, you need to understand this before you close. Because what you don't know about the hidden costs of buying a home in the Bay Area can absolutely cost you thousands of dollars and a whole lot of stress that you absolutely did not budget for. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jenn Collins, and I help people buy and sell homes and figure out where exactly they want to live here in the Tri-Valley and throughout the East Bay. Most of the people we work with are either relocating, upsizing, downsizing, or just trying to make a smart move without regretting it later. And that's exactly what this channel is here for. So let's jump right in. I'm here today to talk to you about the supplemental tax bill, because the supplemental tax bill is the single biggest financial surprise that hits California homebuyers after they close on their new home. And almost nobody is explaining it properly before it happens. Today, I'm going to break down exactly what it is, why it exists, and how to calculate it before you buy, and how to make sure it doesn't wreck your first year of homeownership. Of course, if you find this video helpful, and I hope you will, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. We'd love for you to join our community. Give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below. We respond to all of them. Before I can explain the supplemental tax bill, I need to give a quick history lesson, and I promise this part actually matters, because the reason the supplemental tax bill exists and the reason it can be so surprisingly large goes all the way back to 1978. That was the year California voters passed Prop 13. And Prop 13 fundamentally changed how property taxes work in the state in a way that's completely different from almost any other state in the country. Before Prop 13, property taxes in California were chaos. Counties could reassess your home to the full market value every single year, and tax rates could be 2 or even 3%. Home prices at the time were skyrocketing, and homeowners, especially seniors on fixed incomes, were literally being taxed out of their own homes. So in 1978, California voters said enough. They passed Prop 13 with 65% of the vote. And here's what it did. Number 1, it capped the base property tax rate at 1% of the assessed value at the time of purchase. Not the market value, the assessed value. That's a big difference, which I'll explain in a second. Number 2, it limited annual assessment increases to a maximum of 2% per year. So even if your home's market value goes up 10, 15, or 20% in a year, which absolutely can happen in the East Bay, your assessed value only goes up by 2% each year, max. Number 3, and this is the key, your property is only reassessed to its full current market value when there is a change in ownership or new construction. When you sell your home, the new buyer's assessed value resets to whatever they paid for it. Now here's why this matters so much in California real estate. California real estate has appreciated on average over 6% per year for the last 50 years. But Prop 13 only allows assessments to grow by 2% per year. So over time, a massive gap develops between what the long-time homeowner is being taxed on their home and what their home is actually worth. Let me give you a real-world example that I see every single day in the East Bay. Imagine 2 identical homes on the same street in Oakland. the same floor plan, the same lot size, the same schools, same everything. The neighbor on the left bought their home in 1995 for $250,000. After 31 years of that 2% annual Prop 13 cap, their assessed value today is roughly $460,000. Their annual property tax bill, it's about $5,000 a year, maybe $5,500 if you include bonds and special assessments. Now you buy the house next door, the identical house, in 2026 for $1.4 million. Your assessed value on day one is $1.4 million. Your annual property tax bill, somewhere between $15,000 and $19,000 a year, again depending on your tax rate area, whether you're in a Mello-Roos district, and how many special assessments there are. Same house, same street. One neighbor pays $5,500 in taxes, and you pay almost $17,000. That is the Proposition 13 gap. And that gap, the difference between the old owner's assessed value and your purchase price, is exactly what creates the supplemental tax bill. If you're finding this helpful, please drop a comment below and be sure to tell me where you're thinking of buying in the East Bay. I read every comment and I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so now you understand the Prop 13 gap. Let me explain what actually happens when you buy your home. In California, the fiscal year for property taxes runs from July 1st through June 30th. Your regular annual property tax bill is based on the assessed value as of January 1st of that year, which is actually the old owner's Prop 13 protected value. When you close escrow and the county records the deed, a change of ownership is triggered. The county assessor is notified and they reassess the property to its current market value, which is almost always the purchase price. But here's the thing, that regular annual tax bill has already been calculated based on the old owner's value. Your new higher assessed value doesn't show up on the regular tax bill until the next fiscal year. So there's a gap between when you bought the home and when your regular tax bill catches up. The supplemental tax bill fills that gap. It captures the tax difference between the old assessed value and your new purchase price, prorated from the first day of the month after you close through the end of the current fiscal year on June 30th. The good news is that this is a one-time bill. It's not ongoing. After the supplemental period, your regular annual tax bill will reflect your full new assessed value going forward. But that one-time bill, it can be a big number. Let me walk you through a real calculation so you can see exactly what we're talking about. Let's say you buy a home in Lafayette in March of 2026 for $1.2 million. The previous owner bought the home in 2002 for $400,000. After 24 years of Prop 13's 2% annual cap, their assessed value at the time of sale is roughly $640,000. So step one, your new assessed value is actually $1.2 million. That's your purchase price. Then step two, take your old assessed value, the $640,000, and that's the seller's Prop 13 value. Step three, calculate the difference between the two. In this case, $560,000. That is the supplemental assessment. For step four, you apply the tax rate. In most parts of Contra Costa and Alameda counties, the effective tax rate is somewhere between 1.1 and 1.4%. So let's use 1.2%. $560,000 times 1.2% equals $6,720 for a full year. Now step five, finally you prorate it. Let's say you closed in March. The fiscal year ends June 30th. That's about 3 months remaining. 3 divided by 12 is 0.25. 6,720 times 0.25 equals $1,680. That's your first supplemental tax bill. But wait, because you close between January and May, you also get a second supplemental tax bill for the entire following fiscal year, July 2026 through June 2027. That second bill is the full year amount, $6,720. So in this scenario, you're looking at roughly $8,400 in supplemental taxes on top of your regular property tax payments, on top of your mortgage, on top of your down payment, plus on top of your closing costs. And you might not have budgeted for that. And by the way, if you're buying a more expensive home, say in Diablo, Piedmont, or the Berkeley or Oakland Hills, where many homes sell for over $2 million, and if the previous owner owned the house for say 30 or 40 plus years, they have an even older Prop 13 tax base. That supplemental tax bill can easily be $10, $15, or even sometimes more than $20,000. Now, let me explain the 5 things about the supplemental tax bill that catch people completely off guard, because these are the parts that nobody explains properly. Number 1, your mortgage company does not pay it. Your regular property taxes, yes, those usually come out of your escrow account. But the supplemental bill is sent directly to you, the homeowner. It goes to the property address. Your lender does not get a copy. Your escrow does not cover it. It is 100% on you to pay. Number 2, it often shows up months after you close. The county assessor has to process the ownership change, recalculate the assessed value, and then generate the bill. And that takes time. In Contra Costa or Alameda counties, you're typically looking at 3 to 6 months after close of escrow, which means you might get this bill right around the time you finish furnishing the house, maybe done a few repairs, and your savings account is a little bit thinner than you'd like it to be. Number 3, you might get 2 supplemental bills, not just 1. If you close between January and May, you will receive 2 separate supplemental bills, one for the remainder of the current fiscal year and one for the entire next fiscal year. It's not a billing error and it's not double charging. That's just how the law works. Be sure to read both bills carefully before calling the county in a panic, or call us and we'll walk you through it. Number 4, the penalty for being late is 10%. If you miss the due date, a 10% penalty hits immediately. There's no grace period. There's no additional warning. On an $8,000 bill, that's $800 additional dollars that you could be charged. And number 5, if you haven't moved into the home yet, or if the property is an investment or a rental, the bill might go to the wrong address. It gets mailed to the property address by default. If you're not living there yet, or if forwarding isn't set up, that bill can get lost. And when bills get lost, penalties get applied. Be sure to update your mailing address with the county assessor within 30 days of closing. Don't skip this step. All right, I just explained a bunch of scary numbers to you. But here's the good news. This is 100% predictable and 100% plannable. You just need to know it's coming and build it into your budget. Here is exactly what I do with every buyer I represent and what you deserve to know. Step 1, look at the current assessed value before you write your offer. Every county assessor's office has this online, and it's likely in your disclosure package. In Contra Costa County or Alameda County, you can search by the address at the assessor's website and see exactly what the current owner's assessed value is. The bigger the gap between their assessed value and your offer price, the bigger your supplemental tax bill will be. I pull this number for every single property my buyers are considering. Step 2, run the supplemental tax calculation when you're reviewing the disclosures before you write your offer. Take the purchase price, subtract the old assessed value, multiply it by the tax rate for that area, again usually around 1.1 to 1.4%, and then prorate it based on when you're closing. Now you have a very close estimate of what's coming to you, so you can eliminate any surprises. Step 3, set the money aside at closing. I tell my buyers to put the estimated supplemental tax amount into a separate savings account on closing day, and just don't touch it. When the bill arrives 4 or 5 months later, the money's already sitting there waiting, and your stress is eliminated. Step 4, file your homeowner's exemption immediately. If this is your primary residence, California gives you a $7,000 reduction to your assessed value. It's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it is free money. So file it with the county assessor as soon as you close. It takes about 5 minutes to do so. Step 5, update your mailing address with the county assessor. I said it already, but I'm saying it again because I've seen buyers get hit with penalties because the supplemental tax bill went to the property address and sat in a pile of junk mail. So be sure to update the address. Set a calendar reminder to check for the supplemental tax bill. While we're on the topic of property taxes that surprise buyers, let me mention 2 more things really quickly that are related and that I see catch people all the time. First is Mello-Roos. If you're buying in a newer community in the East Bay, Doherty Valley and San Ramon, newer parts of Danville, sections of Brentwood and Oakley, Your property may be subject to a Mello-Roos district, also called a community facilities district. This is a special separate tax on top of your regular property taxes, and it funds things like infrastructure for new developments like schools, roads, parks, and fire stations. Mello-Roos is not based on your home's value. It's a flat annual assessment set by the district. In the East Bay, I see Mello-Roos charges ranging from $1,200 to over $6,000 per year. In some high-growth areas, it can go even higher. That can add $300 to $500 a month to your housing costs that you maybe did not see coming. Second, the effective tax rate versus your base rate. A lot of buyers hear 1% and they think that's their tax rate. It's actually not. The 1% is just the Prop 13 base. On top of that, you have voter-approved bonds, special assessments, parcel taxes for schools, and potentially Mello-Roos. In most parts of the Alameda and Contra Costa counties, the effective rate is between 1.1 and 1.4%. In Mello-Roos communities, it can hit even 1.5% or higher. On a $1.5 million home, the difference between 1% and 1.5% is $7,500 a year. That can make a big difference in your budget. Always look at the actual tax bill for the property you're buying, not just the 1% base. Your agent should be pulling the most recent secured tax bill and breaking this down for you line by line. If you have questions, reach out to us. We're happy to help. Let me be really clear about something. I am not trying to scare you away from buying in the East Bay. I love it here. I live here and I raise my family here. And the communities in the Tri-Valley and throughout the East Bay are some of the best places to live in the entire country. But the California property tax system is genuinely different from every other state. Prop 13 is an incredible benefit for homeowners over time. That 2% annual cap means that your tax bill becomes more and more favorable the longer you own your home. 10 years in, 20 years in, as you see the appreciation of your home, you are going to love it. But in the first year of home ownership, you need to be prepared for the supplemental tax bill. It's real and it can be significant. And it's completely avoidable as a surprise if you work with an agent who understands it, calculates it for you before you close, and helps you budget for it. That's what I do. That's what my team does. We walk you through every cost, not just the ones that show up on the closing statement, but the ones that show up in your mailbox 4 months later. Because you deserve to go into the biggest financial purchase of your life with no surprises. If you want someone in your corner who will tell you the truth, even when the truth comes with a tax bill attached, then I'd love to hear from you. Call or text me at the number below to book a no-obligation strategy call. And if you're starting to look at relocating to the East Bay, be sure to download our neighborhood guide in the link below or in the QR code right here. If this video helped you understand something that nobody else was going to explain to you, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. It genuinely helps our channel reach more buyers who need this information before they make the biggest financial decision of their lives. I'm Jen with the Jenn Collins Group, and we help people make smart, confident moves here in the East Bay, whether that's next month or a year from now. If you're planning to buy or sell your home in the East Bay, I'd love to guide you through the process. Call or text me at the number below to schedule a strategy session to get started. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.